morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Here's a look at the ES in the daily time frame right now. A narrow 5-day range. Narrow 5-day range at these highs. Remember, we had a 2-day pullback here after the Fed day on July 30th here. Price pulled back for 2 days, including August 1st, and we have since snapped back to the upside to new all-time highs. But after that move, we have gotten very, very tight here as we head into a really Fed-focused week. We have Jackson Hole beginning Wednesday and into Thursday, Friday. We have FOMC meeting minutes as well on Wednesday, and on Friday morning, Fed Chair Powell speaks at 9 a.m. Central. So this market is building that energy for what could be a volatile end to the week, especially midweek into Friday. Are we going to fail here at 64.50? That's the level we mentioned yesterday. Bulls need to keep that area bid, and we're still in the range above. 5-day compression. That 5-day compression is just 55.5 points and 34% of average range. Look how compressed that is against the volatility we've had recently. That's a big time compression here, and you're looking at somewhere between 150 to 200 points of range up ahead pretty easily once we're ready to move. So this is a 5-day compression. Maybe we stay in that range throughout the day, and on Wednesday we may begin to see some expansion out of this range. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday could be a continuation out of this range if we get some movement. So again, a failure here, and we're rotating back to 63.54 and then down across the range into 62.40. We get down here between 6200 and 62.40, that could be a bounce back up across the range. So again, watching to see how we play out here. Overall, we're still trending up in a big way. Big melt up phase continuing to play out. So any pullback could still be a buying opportunity until proven otherwise. All right, looking at the NQ, you'll see right here the NQ looking very similar with its compression. 44% of average range right now on a 5-day basis. A little bit of a downtrend here as well. And really for the ES and the NQ right now, we're watching the previous session's lows, watching the previous session's highs, and we could be trading anywhere within that range. You poke a little bit to the downside here into 23.7, push it back up to 23.9, and then trade anywhere in here. So whatever yesterday's range was, we could see a little bit more range here today. Now a failure, a harsh failure through 23.7, and you're starting to open up a return back to the FOMC key level below, and perhaps back to break even on the month. Not all at once, but it could certainly get there very quickly. All right, looking at crude oil. Crude right now continuing to find new lows here, rollover gap down. But at the same time, if it can get back through 64s here, there's a shot to squeeze it back up within the range. But any rally has been sold tremendously here in crude oil. This market just hasn't had any juice. No strength whatsoever. After strength, it's been heavily rejected, and we've noted that for quite a while. So right now, lingering lower here as it approaches the 58.20 level. That level's a big time level. Do we get there? Do we get there at some point and then bounce off this area? This market will continue to trend lower until it finds that major rejection day. We just haven't seen it. On all of these lows, we've seen little intraday bumps, but they haven't been strong daily chart rejections. They've just been small little ripples here. So still trending down until proven otherwise. Really needs through 64 to open up that squeeze back to the top of the range. All right, looking at gold futures. This one right now, slightly higher at the moment. Mentioned the previous session here. Was very close to developing a key range for the day, just needed to drop a little bit more into that midpoint, and it did. It got that midpoint, it created a new key range here, and we've been within the boundaries of that high and low ever since. Never testing the edge today. We're currently inside day to that key range. So if you're engaging gold on an intraday basis, yesterday's high, low, and midpoint creates a new intraday key range. That's going to be the range to watch. Through 34.05 and you're opening up some upside. and through the bottom here you're opening up some downside, and of course you can fade the edges until proven otherwise. So a really great range here to use over the next several days. Looking at the YM, you'll see right here the YM sitting at the highs after the recent strength here. You can see currently in this narrow range. Now this is a 4-day compression. You can make it this 5 here. Let's go ahead and back it up on the advanced ADR indicator to 4. And what you're seeing right here is a compression, 60% of average range here. You can see again very compressed of the magnitude of what we've seen before, and then you start to see some expansion out of that range. Even here, do we get that soon? So that compression right here could lead to some movement at some point. Now one thing we've noted is that we could be developing here an expanding range at these highs, and so at some point here we may be done up here and rotate back down, and if we do, it could be a huge buy right back up. So even if we were to see some sort of pullback, multi-day or perhaps a week-long pullback into 43,000, it could still be a tremendous buy back to 45,000 and perhaps into 47,000 up above. So it could be a 43 or 47 type of move if we get a pullback of that magnitude at some point ahead of Q4. So not expecting that right at this moment, but any push through the 44.7 starts to open up some pullback up ahead. So keeping an eye on this range right now, and of course for today, looking for back and forth action within the range, perhaps with a modest upward bias. Looking at Bitcoin, Bitcoin's down about 0.6%. Big time day one rejection here, new all-time highs. But that day one rejection hasn't led to a meltdown or a significant pullback. We're still holding above the previous month's midpoint. And if we were to drop a bit more, it could still be a buying opportunity right back up. Very similar to the YM with its expanding range here. Expanding range. Even if we drop here between 110 and 112, it could be a short-term buying opportunity back to 125. Now, if we fail through 110s, you're opening up a broader pullback. And I know I've been noting before that the next long-term move could be a play off 95K to about 100K. If we get into that zone, that might offer the next 50% return longer term down the road for this market. Again, not anticipating a drop or a violation of that magnitude right this moment, but we're getting close to the point where we could begin to see that type of move. We're at the bottom end of the channel at the moment, and this again could lead to another rotation back up. But if we fail there, you break the channel and start to open up a broader pullback, and then that could provide a deeper opportunity for buying. So again, right now still range bound, a little bit bearish here, but at some point we may turn back up within the range. If we don't, a broader pullback is coming. Looking at ETH, this one's down about 1% right now, trading 4,300 at the moment. A bit of a pullback within the big time up move that this thing has seen. Are we about to see another buy the dip to new highs up ahead? Are we grabbing new all-time highs beyond that 49.50 zone? We got very, very close here and just couldn't seal the deal. This pullback may be like this pullback or this pullback, and the next move could be through 5,000. That could be huge here for this one. Again, we could drop as deep as 4,000 and still be a buying opportunity. Even if we break 4,000, 3,400 would be the next zone to watch for a buying opportunity. So this thing is still trending up until proven otherwise, and this pullback into the bullish Pima trigger zone could provide another buying opportunity here shortly. Perhaps not at this moment, but maybe the next day is a bit more bullish and we start to work higher. So again, later on in this week, what do we see out of this market? All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into today's trading. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.